Hey everyone, how are you all doing? So there seems to be about a 20-second latency, so I think once again, like normal, I'll just talk a bit. Welcome to the stream. This is going to be a sort of mini series, so kind of like rather than just watching me write, this is more a Preptober series where I'm going to go through my process for preparing for a November Write Fest. So yeah. So you can see here I've got my book, I've got my research book. If I go into Notion. So inspired by last year's this fangsgiving story I worked on. I I I wrote kind of like we were working on like a mini horror story based on Little Red Riding Hood. In this book or the story, Red was bitten by a wolf shifter and kind of out of sheer damn spite, bites the wolf back, thus beginning the process. 10 years later, like then the story kind of continued 10 years later. Red is fully integrated into the pack. Her human side is like almost forgotten about until one day. So this story I thought would be great in like a serialized format, featuring kind of mini episode arcs, chapters as scenes within that episode, multiple seasons. It felt very TV to me. So I was like, okay, I'm going to write some serialized fiction. So these five Preptober sessions are kind of my chance to establish the world background, lore, the characters, get the plotting, and maybe some scene stuff done. That's my hope. They might not all be 2 hours, some might be longer, some might be shorter. It all depends on how I get there. But if you're joining in, then it's always nice to have some company. And I'd love to know if you guys are doing any writing in November and are planning for that. Hello, Nikki. Hello, iGregor. Hello, other Nikki. Hello, Bonnie. Hi, Joe. Um, it's nice to have you all here. Some of you might recognize this story from last year when I was working on it back in the days before um, I was doing these streams officially. But yeah, if you have any questions, let me know. If you have any comments and things you think I should incorporate, definitely let me know. Like, I am not an expert in this genre, and so any help and input would be greatly appreciated. Like seriously. All collaboration is good collaboration. Hello, Prusper. So I thought I would like give a bit of clarity beforehand on like my AI usage for this challenge, kind of what I'm challenging myself to do. It's not an official challenge or anything. This is just how I want to do this project. Um, Meme says, "Hello, yeah, I remember the doggos. Yeah, so many doggos, human doggos in this case, I guess." Um, so for plotting and preparation, AI is totally allowed. I'll verify everything, of course, as normal. I'd like to have as much of the ideas be from like collaborative chat rather than just blindly taking something the AI suggests, but like everything else is up for grabs. I'm going to try out some different models, play around with things, get to grips with the story. For the writing in November, where I will be doing a daily stream, there is no AI at all. I want to write as much as I can by hand and stretch my creative muscles. I might try some dictation out within Novelcrafter as well. That's a thought. I mean, if anyone knows of any, so I have a Windows computer, but if anyone knows of any dictation software or plugins, I am totally up for trying those. I think I might do a hybrid, but basically like no AI writing, purely for the challenge. Analysis, absolutely. I need my drunk lord bro with me. So I will be doing lots of analysis with AI and using that. For the editing itself, undecided. I might do bits like some text replacements or like if I need ideas. And like while I'm writing, if I like need an idea, I can use chat, but I just can't use chat for the prose. That's kind of my caveat. Yeah. So hopefully that sounds interesting to you all, kind of seeing this more hybrid approach compared to like my office hour streams where it's much heavier in the AI involvement. Oh, Body says, don't forget to go back and watch the original video where Kate did this last fall. It was awesome. Oh, thank you. It was really fun. This was like kind of the first like one of the first stories I did on stream, and these characters stayed with me. Like I really wanted to write Red's story. Like I have at times gone back and kind of done bits of this, but I've never had the time to like go deep in. Um, Oh, okay, yeah. I could definitely go back and make an ocean doc for it. I'll have to have a look because like a lot of it I did with like examples of different things, but I could totally make like a refresher doc. It was yeah, again back in the days before I made Notion docs. Um so yeah, time goes by so quickly, doesn't it? Okay. So, oh my god, that's weird. I just looked at the camera and you know when you have all those moments, I was like, my cheeks, just the curve there. I was like, I look so like my mum. Anyway, just you know when you have those moments. Anyway, okay, SSN. I was just looking for a voice program to use with Novelcrafter, and okay, so they're on Apple. So if anyone has any, so apparently Apple Mac computers actually have a pretty decent one built in. I know Akello uses it. So you might want to look at that. I obviously I've got Windows, so that doesn't work as such. But yes, anyone, if you're watching this and you have any suggestions for Apple or Windows or Linux or anything, dictation apps, voice programs, yeah, no, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. Like, I'm happy to take mini detours. I've got a few like things that I want to get done and kind of show people, but yeah, if you have any questions. Um, so yeah, I want to try. So session 1 today, I'm going to work on lore, background, and history as inspiration. Try and get the whole shifter thing, the time period, all that kind of stuff set out, because otherwise, because that's going to impact the locations, the characters, objects, and the like. I think that's kind of the best place to start. Um, for me anyway. Um, particularly in fantasy fiction, um, lore is really important. It's like the equivalent of physics in our world. All world building is based on a set of rules, and your story does need to follow them or have a super good reason that it's not following them. So I was thinking of looking at how someone becomes a shifter, pack dynamics, forest/forest sizes back in the day, so I know what the territory is like, time period and religious beliefs of that time period, and if that would impact on shifters. And if there's like a secret society in my story, there's gonna be like the secret society thing going around killing shifters or catching them, something cult I need to do. If there's anything else you can think of for my story that you think I should look into, let me know. I will add it to my list. Always appreciated suggestions. Okay, so yeah, Bonnie says, yeah, in November the AI gets turned off because it's not fair to use it for this challenge. I dictate most of my stuff using my phone, so I'm not any help. No, that's helpful. Like, I guess then you just need like a transcribing app. But yeah, no, I feel like for me, like November is very much like getting that first draft down. I wouldn't use I wouldn't use the same kind of like tracking writing with AI as I would writing with hand, because it's very subjective. Um, but like there's absolutely no shame in what tools you use. Just go ahead. Um, okay, I will keep that in mind, Bonnie, with the Notion docs. Okay, so on Mac, the dictation feature is awesome, and soon there will be other like AI aspects, like with Novelcrafter. Nice. Oh, see, I'm wasted on no. I love my Windows laptop. It's got like, multiple screens. It's great. But sometimes I do wish for a Mac. I have an iPad. I guess I could do some stuff on that, but that's not as easy for streams, which is where I want the voice dictation for, because I think it's probably more interesting for you as well, especially if I'm writing by hand, for me to be reading out like what I'm typing, or like reading out as it types. Um, so yeah. If anyone has any like extensions for Chrome or Edge, I guess. Yeah, and if anyone has any suggestions on things to look at for lore in fiction. Um, so I think my first thing is going to be looking at. I want. I have some ideas about my shifters already. Um, I feel like there's probably not a huge amount of integration with society. Um, like for certain, this pack isn't. Maybe there are other um countries, civilizations where there are, but I don't think for this. Let's have a look see. Right, so I have my okay, so Big Hearted Girl says she wants to know more about the progression slash additions portion. I will go into that at some point during the stream for certain, once I've kind of done these initial bits. There are some classes, like some live streams, where I've already done it. So if you can be more specific about the exact bit of the progressions, like what is it that you're wanting to do with them, maybe that would help. But yeah, so I have like the original book where I've started doing a bit. I have characters, um, I have book and series, codexes. I have a mini. You can see January 18th was the last. Was like when I did some things. February. It's been a while. Um, so this is like an episode list where I made like overall kind of things. There's Red and the kind of the love interest. A former miner turned hunter called Bale. Um, so yeah, it's kind of like there's gonna be romantic aspect, but it's gonna be like a slow burn, like enemies to lovers, that kind of good vibe. Um, where both of them have decent intents. And Red is of age and an adult and a fully functioning wolf. So I've made for this a book 0, which is going to be like my research. I'm going to put everything in, and then I'll move things into the codex and have a series codex. So if you Corey, could you in the documentation there is something on progressions and additions already there. I don't know if we've got a video, but there's definitely documentation on it. If you could link that in, that would be amazing. Oh, okay, Windows H. Where's my Windows key? Huh. Voice typing your... Okay, well, maybe we can test that out today. Thank you, Prusper. So yes, let's go into research. But yeah, if you go on setting, not setting, sorry. If you click on your face icon and then you go to view documentation, Big Hearted Girl, that opens up the documentation page. And if you type in additions, there is a post on that already. And there is a video where I talk about it in the Matrix, I think the Matrix video. Okay, so I've got amongst all of my different prompts, I have a general purpose with full codex and no codex. And I guess for this, I'll use the no codex one because I'm just going to ask some questions. And I've added into this the perplexity. Which model did I add in? You know, and you're like suddenly like, oh my God, where is it? I thought I added it in. Oh, I've not named it. That's why. Okay. Select AI. General purpose. No codex. Llama. Okay. So I think I'm going to start off with looking at the setting. I think the original where is the original Red Riding Hood folk tale set? Where and when? And then if you do control enter, that sends you a message. Okay, interesting. So immediately I see, okay, 11th century. That means this is very much like, yeah, medieval kind of, yeah. Okay. So we're gonna set it then. Um, I don't know where Liege is. Is that that sounds French, maybe? Um, yeah, France, Tyrol, Northern Italy. Okay, yeah. So maybe I'll go even earlier than Middle Ages. I suppose I could go for like, yeah, Norman invasion eras. I'll have a think. I think it'd be interesting to go for something that's a bit older than what I'm comfortable with. Um, okay, so it definitely seems for some reason I thought Germanic, but French it seems to be that, which is fine. Um, okay. Were how big were the forests in France in the 11th century? Were there any prominent ones mentioned in history? Again, we don't need this to be super accurate because it is a fantasy shifter fiction. Um, but I'd like some basis for my kind of like um trudging with perplexity about time and setting. Oh, I forgot to do the whole using the dictation after that. Um, okay, let's have a look. Um, okay, I mean 3/5 of the country is still over half. Um, Makes sense. Okay, so there's a lot of stuff going. It's a lot of like arable stuff going. That's fine. That kind of fits in with the story. Um, okay, now I know that New Orleans is actually after an old Orleans. That makes so much sense. Vosges? Oh, I never did French. Um, I do like the idea of this, though. Let me just quickly how to pronounce. Oh, I need my headphones on. One moment, guys. Vosges. 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 Vol. Vosges. 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 Okay, Vosges. The Vosges Mountains. Vosges. Okay, I can do that. Okay, so we're going to set our story in the Vosges Mountains. Exactly. Bonnie says, when you're doing a retelling, it's always best to use the oldest version you can find, one that's not sitting under a copyright. Yeah. So, well, we know that, I mean, I'm like, okay, 1,000 years, it's probably fine. I'm not going to look at, like, it's basically someone in a red tunic, but that's fine. So we know, so if I'm going to go into my Notion document, or I'm going to move this. I'm going to click the action menu. Setting and location and time. I'm going to open this up in a panel to the right and then open up the right interface, add an initial scene. And then I'm going to go, let's start with, then again, I can do. And the beautiful thing about this is doing all my research in a kind of like throwaway doc. I can then chat with the AI about these scenes in my research notes and get them to help me make codex entries from it. So that's kind of why I'm doing this, to demonstrate. Okay, so we know it's the Vosges. Okay, doing voice chat tends to skip words when dictating. Okay, I will practice. Oh yeah, I'm gonna do this so it's Control 8. Are there any towns or villages associated with the Vosges mountain region of France in the 11th century? Are there any towns or villages associated with the Vosges region of France in the 11th century? Okay, it doesn't seem to be. I mean, maybe because I'm using the mic on something else, it's not wanting me to do it. Huh. Let's see if it does it in this interface. I'm just curious. Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, let's try my other microphone. Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. That does work with this. So I just have to have 2 different microphones, it seems. Can you all still hear me fine? Probably should check that. Are there any towns or villages associated with the Vosges region of France in the 11th century? Okay, not too bad. Can you all still hear me? Oh, you can still hear me. Okay, good, Corey. Okay, well, that did seem to work. If I wanted to do it, I just have to use my other microphone, like my laptop's innate microphone. Okay, penal. Guibule. Okay, I like Obernai. Guibule. Okay, now I'm going to go to Google Maps, guys, because I have never been to France either. So I will look on another tab for where Guibwiller is. Guibwiller? I don't know. Okay, near Switzerland. Okay, very near Switzerland. And Aubernay. Okay, Aubernay is like Aubernay de Guibwiller. Okay, it's like a day's walk or like 2 days walk. An hour drive. That's not too far. Oh, okay. You grew up in Guibuya. Oh my god, is there anything you can tell me about it? Is there anything like I think because I like the name Albernai, I'm gonna use that as the town name. Oh, I'm starting to get warm now. This is great. And then the neighboring town will be Guibuya. Okay, amazing. Village name. Because I have a neighboring village mentioned. And then I'll just add in these bits of information. Okay. So I'm happy with that. I'm happy with those towns. Okay, so that kind of explains why I thought it was more, yeah. Okay. So we have our time and setting. Okay, I think now we're going to ask what were French villages like in the 11th century? Yeah, I mean, I found that bunny that was, and that's fine. We can just always add things. Well, I looked, Corey, and they were, according to Google Maps, so like, yeah, they're 80 kilometers apart, but like, it's possible that people would move from one village, from one place to another in order to like have mining opportunities and stuff, right? That's like 2 days walking. I mean, or I could look for other villages near Obernai or Guiwilla, if that's actually how it's pronounced. Um, maybe we should ask our resident Prusper about where, if there are any other towns of that age in the area. Okay. Let's have a look. There is an update coming soon that's going to make this so nice. So I'll be doing loads of editing aesthetically of everything then. I probably should use not real village names. Even though Obernai is very pretty. I will use a fictional village, and then I can make up the infrastructure as well. And now I'm like, okay, well, where are these? Lots of place names. Okay, they are not on pilgrimage routes. That's fine. Okay. I will just have this miscellaneous bit of notes. But at least I know there are towns in this area. The Vosges. I am not mad though. This llama is actually really good. I'm enjoying this. Oh my god. And bearing in mind this is the one with no codex, so it doesn't know my story. Combining Valley and of the Wolf. Is that not a perfect suggestion for a town name, guys? Okay, so that's one possibility. Let me know if you think we should do that one. Or Château-Fort de Vosges. Vosges. Pierreberg. La Roche en Vosges. But yeah, so as a top tip for if you're doing place names, because otherwise AI is likely to suggest the same 10 names like Blackford or whatever. Like I always try and ask it to do names based on a geographical area, like inspired by the area at a time. And likewise with people's names, I will be like, okay, I want names that fit this specific demographic. Even if it's like a fantasy or a futuristic, you can kind of think of things like, oh, what was it? There was a video that I was looking at, or I was sent a week ago that was about the Tiffany effect. So like Tiffany is a medieval name, but it doesn't feel medieval to us as a modern age, and so you can't really name a medieval book character Tiffany because even though it's accurate, it doesn't give a medieval vibe. Um, Although that would make a cool time travel story, like someone called Tiffany whose name just happens to fit in with everything. Um, Saint-Pierre, Mont Salon. Okay, I'm gonna go with because come on, let's be real. I love um a hint of irony. Um and then I'll go for like okay, then I like this idea of the Montferrand Savoie. Oh my god. Why did I do this to myself? First Corey's names for all the different characters that I couldn't pronounce, and then now I've decided that French is going to be the inspiration for my why do authors do this to ourselves? Okay, so I've got that neighboring village. Um, so I'm still going to keep it in the Vosges region of France because it's heavily forested and kind of like gives the vibes I want, kind of in the geographical area that I want as well. So I'm happy with that. Happy with the place names. So this will give us a good basis. So I'm going to copy this conversation, copy conversation, markdown, go into Notion. I might put this into there. Um, okay, so I'm gonna. So we've got a bit about the time period. So I will add in decision. 11th century France. The region. With town names we've made up. So that's the decision of our time period and location. We'll want to do a bit more research on that specifically, but for now it's kind of like given us a concrete point to build everything else around. So I'm going to do a little bit of research into forests of the time. Let me get in my llama again because I was quite liking that. I'm going to keep brainstorming with llama. Have any of you used llama much? Um, what were forests like in 11th century? Um, Bonnie Dragon says, a nice, oh, one sec. Let me, everything suddenly come all quickly. Okay, yeah, people saying loving perplexity for fact checking. Yeah, no, I'm really finding this good. Bonnie says a nice naming reference for both first names and surnames is a site called Behind the Name. Oh my god, yes. I used to troll that website. And if I needed to like name a random character, I would always use the whatever the name of the day was. That was just it's like fine, yep, that is who that character is. Cool. Oh, Paul, what did you think of the Plot Doctor? Have you tried it out? Guys, if you've not seen Saturday's Plot Doctor stream, oh my god, you need to go and see it. It is I mean, the prompt is amazing. And I can say that because I wasn't the one who did 99% of the designing. I just got to test it out and then teach about it. Okay, so what were forests like in 11th century France/Europe, particularly near those based near mountains? Okay, heavily influenced by human activity. I mean, I like the idea of like deforestation going on and stuff because that's very like a very real theme. Oh, it's a nice ringlet. A very real theme in the story. Um. Oh, okay, you use it in your teaching. Nice. Bonnie says also an idea behind naming a place the Valley of the Wolf might be a warning of some kind. Yeah, like if this wolf pack has been there a while, it might be that yeah, it's like a warning. Nikki says that she's using the Plot Doctor at the moment. Eric says that yep, amazeballs. I would totally agree. Amazeballs is the word. Ah, okay, yeah. If your story is 250,000 words, um, I mean, so we were using the Plot Doctor with scene summaries. So I would suggest summarizing all your chapters and then using it on that rather than on the entire story. If you want to do it on the entire story, maybe like GPT-4o Mini or something or Haiku. You don't want to do anything like particularly expensive. Okay, this is amazing to know because it's like, okay, well, this is like a very real period, like before conservation. People are wanting arable land, they're like expanding. Like, that is like gemstone information for setting my story in this time period. Um, I love it. Um, anthrop- anthropized. They're used by various groups. Um, local seigneurs and princes controlled large game reserves and implemented rules to manage forest resources. Um, okay. The Grand Chartreuse. Okay. By the 11th century, there was growing awareness of the need to manage forest resources sustainably. Legislation and regulations began to be implemented to control the overexploitation of forests. For example, King Philippe II of France regulated the sale of wood from royal forests in 1219. Okay, so that's like way after the period that I'm doing. Um, okay. Were the wolves living in these forests? Um, Bonnie says, Paul, it would depend on how much money you're willing to spend. If you have to use a large language model, you have to use a large language model, and those are rarely free. Normally, I'd say use one of the Claudes, but recent craziness. Dot 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 dot. And Paul the Mat, Prusper says Gemini Pro has 100,000 word sorry, a million word token context. That's characters though, so it might work. But yeah, I would also keep in mind, yeah, the cost. Like when I was doing the Plot Doctor on like not that many, not 250,000 words. It was like costing me $1 at a time, and that was on summaries. So I would definitely say do summaries over anything else. Oh, I'm nice and snug at the moment. I'm going to show off my crocheted blanket that is currently keeping me nice and toasty. Okay, let's have a look. Yes, wolves were indeed present in the forests. Wolves were widespread across Europe during the medieval period, including the forests of France. Historical sources and studies indicate wolves inhabited various types of landscapes, including forests, particularly more remote and mountainous areas. That works for us. I love positive confirmation. Forests, especially those near mountainous regions, provided a suitable habitat for for wolves, not werewolves. Oh my god! These areas offered the necessary cover, prey, and isolation for wolf populations to thrive. They were known to flourish in war zones and areas where human populations had decreased, allowing them to exploit available resources more freely. Also, a source of conflict, a threat to livestock. So significant, yeah. Okay. So Bonnie asks, um, yeah, I am basically using a research book. I'm going to use that to do all my world building in, and then I will take the information from my world building and stick it in codex entries for the series after. Um, this is kind of a nice way of just getting all my like preliminary research together, and like it won't impact the main story at all because it's in a separate book. Um, Paul says the writing is my hobby. Other hobbies have cost a lot more, lol. So one-time cost is what it is. That is true. I mean, if you're willing to try it, try it. Hello, Maura. How are you doing? From this, what can we infer about the lives of wolves in French mountain forests in the 11th century? I feel very specific at this. It's very specific going on. Oh. I just did the to do that line. I did 3 of these little guys. You can also do slash and horizontal rule. Okay. Presence and distribution. What is a chamois? Okay. Okay, so this was in 813. Okay, so there's like an ongoing conflict then. I like that. I like that. And if we're going with wolves shifters are kind of like intermingling, like as a kind of a I'm kind of going on the vibe of like wolves aren't necessarily a thing, they are shifters. Um we'll see. Oh, poor wolves. I mean they're like puppers, but like able to look after themselves. Oh well, I hope you enjoy watching some planning going on. Um oh, a goat. Okay. I was like, what's a goat? And I was like, oh, you mean the sham? Yeah. Okay. I like that information. I will put that in. Um. Oh my god, yeah. So when I was doing the stream on I was gonna do a short story in September, and then I started planning out a series of short stories. I've not quite gone from a short story to like a full-fledged novel, but yeah. Okay. Yeah, Bonnie says my short stories are never short stories. They end up becoming full novels. I think that's the thing. It's short stories are an art form, and like I admire people who are able to do that. Um. Oh, okay, Nikki. I don't actually have a tutorial or a video on this because it's kind of just something I do out of anything. So think of this as the tutorial. I can make a video or documentation on it, but essentially, I am using a book zero in a series. So I'm going to do all my research, and then I'm going to make codex entries as series codex entries once I've finished with this, and then that means the actual book will have all the information in, but I'm not then clogging up like the context and stuff. Um, it's essentially just like a way of getting around the fact that like snippets sometimes aren't big enough. So, you know, one day you might not even need these. Okay, so we know a little bit about wolves. We know, I will add this chat, copy conversation, markdown. Oh, I might actually ask, what other... Let's learn about other wildlife, because that probably help for, like, food. Oh my god, a pika! That is so cute! Yeah, Shamri's, skilled climbers inhabited the lower areas. Okay. Oh, boars. I was watching, there was a thing about the Amazon, someone going through it, and there were these packs of like tiny boars that were like in packs of like 500 at a time, and they would like charge, and everything would get out of the way because like snakes and anything would just get trampled on and killed. Um, okay, that's fine. I've got that in. Is there, yeah. So if I go to my thing, I've got book zero research, and then I've got the actual story here. And so like I've got some codex entries already from my last stream, like my last stream series last year. But then I'm gonna do all my research in here, because there'll be a lot of stuff that doesn't apply, and then I can use the chat with scene feature or chat with novel feature to get the details that I need out. So it'll like scan through my notes in the scenes, essentially. So I guess if you had like research from like sources on the internet and stuff, you could also include them in here and then do your research from the scenes as a source. It's so weird. Normally when I go into chats, they stay pinned, but this hasn't. Conversation markdown. Okay. It totally works out for my story. Wolves were being actively persecuted in this time period, and there was a lot of deforestation. Having lots of prey near the mountains, which also ties into mining, etc. Oh, that was nice. I have a little I got last week a little like drink heating mat, and that means like my drinks now last an hour rather than me having to like glug them down 20 minutes into the stream. Okay. So I know it's only been an hour, and like I've only done like a little bit, but I feel actually very comfortable with what we have so far. Like I have a better idea of like the general setting, and I feel like I can go into more after. So I'm going to do with this is like location. This is going to be like location research slash time period research. I'm then going to make a new act and have this as shifters. And then my first chapter is going to be shifters in fiction. I just kind of want to see how shifters in general are portrayed so that I can then make my own decisions. Like one thing I know for certain is I don't want like that. I don't want like a alpha, beta, omega dynamic. Because like I like the idea of people fated to be together, but I also like the idea of choice. And they don't quite mesh together as well as I'd like. And plus, I'm not going to be writing sex scenes on stream, or anything like that. So I think it'll be good to know how people portray them, so I can then make my own interpretation. So I'm going to open a new thread. I'm going to go general purpose. I think again I'm going to go no cotex because I don't want anything influencing it. I'm going to go sonnet 3-5. I am writing a shifter story. I'm writing like to research first how shifters are portrayed in popular media so that I can make my own version. And then I'm going to pin this. So I can make my own interpretation. Please give me a detailed analysis on the portrayal of shifters in fiction. I'm going to say a fantasy shifter. And I'll put wolf. I always do that. Every time I forget that enter doesn't actually enter. And it's a great safeguard. I love it. I always forget. Okay, so this is looking like it's going to be talking a lot about werewolves. So that's fine. I'm going to do add subtitle. This is going to be werewolves. That is not how you spell werewolves. And then I will do a new scene and subtitle that as shifters. I might not need both of these, but I'm just going to put them here. Okay, it doesn't seem to be. Oh, that's fine. Okay, well, let me delete scene because I don't need. I don't need this. Okay, I'm going to start with just copying all of that, pasting it in, and then I'll work out what I want. Don't care about rivalry with vampires. Oh yeah, Jekyll and Hyde parallels. I love that kind of stuff. Okay, I'm gonna go. Do I have Hunger Games? No, I completely reread that. Misread that. That's fine. What about shifters? Okay. Then when I look at shifters, um, so I would definitely want to go just like full wolf. Wolf. They look like a cute and fluffy cute wolf. That would be my thing. We don't need to talk about the full moon trigger. I'm gonna go with like voluntary transformation. I think it might be painful. Like it might not be agonizing, but it definitely be painful. I don't want partial transformation. Um, I don't know how much I want to go into like maybe enhanced senses, but like superhuman strength, speed, and healing. I don't know whether I want to play more in the when they are human, they are human with some enhanced senses of a wolf, and when they are a wolf, they are a wolf but with the cognizant abilities of a human. And so it's kind of more a they change physically, but like their mental abilities kind of are consistent across both forms. I think that's kind of more the vibe I want to go down. Like there's nothing like special about shifters other than the fact they have these two forms. Like they're not superhuman. Um, that's my thought anyway at this point. Okay, so yeah, so I will do this new category, add subtitle, shape shifters, and then I will go up here. What do you guys think? Well, I know that I'm going to be doing single creature shifter. That's fine. I don't know yet whether there will be shifters for multiple animals. Haven't thought that through. I think probably just sticking with the pack. My God, object shifters. Imagine that if you just like could turn into a Rubik's cube. I like that. That all makes sense to me. Abilities in shifted form, animal abilities. I would get rid of the healing factor. They don't have accelerated healing. They are just if they get shot, they get shot. Oh, hello, Jen. How are you doing? Yeah, so this stream is a Preptober stream where I'm prepping for the serialized fiction that I'm going to be writing in November. I'm going to be so at the moment I'm kind of making a story bible within like a book zero, and I'm going to take that and then use that to extract the data needed for my codex. So I've got 5 sessions planned. I don't know what order I'm going to be doing them yet, but I've got lore, location, character, and then going into episode plotting and scene plotting. Um, so we'll see how that goes. I'm not entirely sure yet where we'll end up. But today we're looking at lore and getting kind of like these initial bits sorted and clarified. So I kind of was looking at location and time period before, and now we've just started looking into shifters themselves and seeing what tropes are used in common media so that I can kind of either take bits or subvert expectations. Um, Jen says, "Great project. Super excited to see it fleshed out." Oh, thank you. This is based on a So last year I did a this fangsgiving stream where I did kind of like this like horror vibe for it, and I was like, I fell in love with the characters and the premise, and I was like, no, I've got to do something with this. And so then I was like, well, this year we can return to it. Every day I'm going to be writing by hand or dictation the story, and just yeah, kind of getting getting some fun stuff done. It'll probably be at this time every day. Like this is kind of the time that I'm most like it's almost because of doing these streams I'm now trained to do writing at this time. So kind of works. Okay, so I like these kind of ideas. We've got some stuff on shapeshifters. We've got some stuff on werewolves. Um, I will look into my interpretations of them later. This is kind of just like a research gathering. I want to look at pack dynamics. So I'm going to copy this and give it to you. If you're, I guess this is a way you can see how I'm building up my thing. Maybe at some point we can do this as a sample novel, so you've got an idea of like a world codex. I don't know. Toggle research. What did I decide from this research? I decided that I want the shifters to be more like to be less werewolf like and with no superpowers. They heal at a normal rate. They aren't any faster than normal humans or wolves. In the human form, they have wolf level senses and vice versa in wolf form. Oh, there's a puppy. It's like a little dachshund with like really long, like a long tail dachshund, and it's just like bound, 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 bound. Its ears are like going flip, 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 flip. Very adorable. In their human form, they have wolf level senses, and vice versa. In wolf form, they have human levels of cognizance. Cognizance? Cognizance? It's fine. We've got, yeah, cognizance. Okay. Um, yeah, whatever. Animal pack dynamics. Let's chat. One moment, Corey. Um, so in Windows, if you press Windows key and H, it comes. No, I don't want to contribute. This little thing comes up, and it seems to work well enough. Like it was struggling with the French words, but like the English, it was fine with. I suppose I could like install the French language like into it, but yeah. So it's this little boy. So I'll probably try that through the at least to start with. But yeah, Corey, could you add a feature request to making a new AI thread to something that's already in the sidebar? New thread. Thank you. I've just realised how slight F this is to have to do that. And then, rather than, you know, it's the slightest of Fs. Okay. What was my next thing? Pack dynamics. Um, please give me a list of animals that live in packs. Oh, because I'm using the normal the normal prompt without with the codex in. It's like, yeah. Most Windows software has, yeah. Lions, meerkats, dolphins, orcas. Okay, amazing. Okay. Um, please give um please go into detail about how the following packs function within yeah, that'll be fun. Wolves. Um I'm gonna start mostly with the predator animals. I know dolphins can be considered, but then I'm also gonna go but baboon slash gorilla, so it's like a more human-esque aspect. And then why not mongooses? They're great under like please also detail any similarities and differences between the animals. Ah. New chapter. Pack dynamics. Okay, wolves. Hierarchical, led by an alpha pair. Okay, so I mean, like, I guess there's still aspects of that you know, it's not the sexual aspect, it's the hierarchical aspect, so that's fine. And usually I think the pups are just from the alpha pair. By the way, Kate, you are Save the Cat archetype would for your plot would likely be dude with a problem, dog solve it. I'm gonna finish that sentence. I think there's but yeah. Um Oh, I like the idea of, like, African wild dogs having like some voting behavior. Because I guess like because they're all humans, um, that kind of fits in with like it would be a hybrid pack formation. Oh my god, hyenas, 80 members. Wow. Matrilineal. I didn't know that they were matrilineal. I didn't realize there were so many that were matrilineal. That's amazing. Vocalizations. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to take the packs that I want to kind of combine the features of. So wolves. I like the idea of African wild dogs. I think that's a really cool kind of like makes things a bit different. And I do like the idea of lions with the matriarchal lead. I think I might go with that for this story. Nikki says, I haven't come across Google too. I love Google Workspace, so I'll definitely check that one. I've got the Windows one up. I'll test that later after this video. Yeah, no. Let us know. I need to do more testing as I'm going through before I start writing with it. Okay. Let's. Oh, did I? What did I do? I can't remember what the shortcut is for dark mode. Let me go back into light mode. Let's make our own hybrid pack mentality for. So for this, I am going to. Let's switch to select AI general purpose no codex. Using the following aspects from these animals. Wolves. Hello, Emery. How are you doing? And don't worry, we've still got plenty of time. I'm in the midst of looking at pack dynamics to try and work out how the Wild Wind pack works together. I like the idea of an alpha pair. I think that's good. I like that it's a pair. Roll. Meme says Shelley Lawrenstone used African wild dogs and hyenas in her shifter stories, and she did a really good job in making me invested in their animal nature. Oh, nice! I'll have to have a look. I've not read that many shifter stories, so I'll have to like have a look into it. But I think it's so cool to do different, not like, even though this is wolves because it's Red Riding Hood, like doing inspiration from not just wolves. Um, why has that happened again? What am I pressing that is doing this? Nikki says, I figure there's no point in wasting all the words. Speak to myself as I work, although I may have a lot of, what were you talking to me to delete as my family wanders up and down the hallway? I mean, I would have so much random singing lyrics. Like, imagine if I was doing Only Dogs Left with dictation. Half of it would just be copyrighted lyrics to songs. Okay. Are there any other animals I want to look at? Yep, no, that's fine. Um, hmm. I'm just going to put that all there for now. Let's have a look. Okay. Oh, it's just like, I guess, yeah, you have like your mother superior and um male equivalent. Okay. Yeah, no, I can see that. I can see that. I would need to like um whittle this down for certain. But there's good stuff in this. Um oh, I like that. Rotate hunting groups for efficiency. And then like if it's this hybrid between different animals as well, it would make total sense then when people like when the humans are like really unnerved by these wolves that don't act like no wolves should. Oh, I like that. Strategic use of multiple den sites within territory. Like that's the kind of thing that's really cool. Um okay, ways to yeah. Um I like the idea of seasonal adaptation. I'm kind of imagining that this wolf pack, because the woods will still be quite big, the forest, they kind of like go from um location to location, um so that predators don't like, or humans, um don't catch on that there's like that they're there. As there are no specific Novelcrafter features involved here, you could do this all for free on um, yeah, you could. Um, I'm doing it here so that all the information is within Novelcrafter for when I start extracting it and stuff, like for ease. But yeah, I mean, totally. If you had a subscription to another um service, you could do that. Um, but obviously, we're going to show it on Novelcrafter. um, okay, no, I'm happy with that. Okay, let's give you this. But like this applies to like all, stories. You could totally do this. Yeah, I think it's I do like the idea of like, yeah, getting a few bits and pieces on this. I think this will be nice. Did that not do the entire Did I forget to do the entire thing? Copy conversation. Nikki says this topic has me thinking about mythology. Does anyone have recommendations of videos, tutorials on writing or developing mythology? I mean, I don't have any off the top of my head, but I would always say just look at all the mythology out there and then start like picking out your favorite bits. Like there is such a plethora of real life examples that you can kind of pull from. I've never used Notebook LM, although I know Corey likes Notebook LM, and he's been making like trying out some of those podcast things that you can do on them. Research. I want the shifters to be less werewolf like, no super yada yada. Animal pack dynamics. Um, um, so what was I saying? Saying alpha pair. 10 to 15 members. Um, Gender. Caretakers slash scouts. Rotate duties. Um, Multiple dens. I'm doing like really like top level kind of high level kind of like my like conclusions. Um I had some questions written here. But in the interest of time, I'm gonna just stick them under a toggle and like deal with them later. I think before I go into like I've got half an hour left. I feel like I've got a good sense of the pack and where they're going to be living, like their kind of like home location. What I want to do now is kind of start fleshing out the antagonists. So there is going to be a cult, a secret society, something that is very anti-shifter. Unfortunately, due to the time period, it's likely it's going to be highly religious because that makes sense. Um, so let's open up a new chat. Um, Oh wow. So Circus says the Notebook LM is great. It did a couple of deep dive podcasts into my latest piece. It was a cool experience. Yeah. Corey did like used it to do some like podcasts of my YouTube videos of my live streams, and that was quite something to see. It was really intriguing. But also kind of strange hearing a podcast about something that I was working on, you know? In this story, there is a secret society slash cult that is anti-shifter and wants to uh, destroy the Wild Wind Pack. I want them to be. Nikki says my last deep dive was fantastic, nearly 20 minutes long with breaks. Oh wow. I want them to be inspired by real life cults from um 11 or let's go from 9th to 13th century European cults or religious sects. What groups might fit this bill? Okay, Bonnie's offered you some help, Nikki. So let's go on to. Okay, it's a new act. Add act. Cults. Okay, the Cathars. Okay, Southern France. That's good. Dualistic beliefs um, system rejected the material world's evil. I mean, that makes sense. Oh my god, warrior monks. Um, I don't know if I. Okay, guys, how much do I make this where the baddies aren't just like old men with books and they actually can fight? Do I go down that route or do I go down the avenue of they're not super duper competent? Okay, I'm seeing that many cults are religious based. That's fine. Um, okay, I like idea of like a charismatic leader. As an old man with books, I vote for the violent option. I mean, I do like the idea of them being competent, and I guess that makes more of a crisis because it's like it's this group of people who've lived as wolves for like decades versus people actually trained to kill. And so there's like a real threat, perhaps. Um, okay. 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 Let's start developing our cult. I like the following ideas. Okay, more votes for competence. Right. Competence is sexy, guys. um um cult strength is Red's weakness. I mean, the cult embraces what they are. The Red is still conflicted over her dual nature, whereas the cults have one nature and they are like, yes, we are going to do this. And likewise, that's what Bale the Hunter's conflict is as well. He finds it hard to be both human and Shifter Slayer. But yeah, I like the idea of this charismatic thing, like kind of group, like scooping Bale up after yeah. Um, since the wolf pack is okay. Oh, I like that because yeah, you don't normally see cults, especially in that time period, being um I like that. And then that kind of like puts the brutality at like even more shocking because like this like mother figure is going around slaying them guys. Oh, I like that, Corey. Ah, you inspire me. They're not going to be nudists. Um, I'm going to say approved by the monarchy. Um, I like this. So we're gonna then. So I've given some ideas that I like, and then I'm like, okay, guys, let's develop the story based from that, and let's see what the AI does. I've also reminded them that the story is set in 11th century France. Let's develop our cult. Okay, the Order of the Pure Flame for now. I'm like, okay, well, we'll get some kind of French name. It's fine. Mother Celestine. Okay. I like that. Celestine. It's like very, yeah. Symbolic or literal. Yeah, I totally see they could keep books or artifacts. I will ask when we've read through. Um I love the hypocrisy it's already addressing. Oh my god, the fact that they wear flame red robes, I I kind of like that. And then Red's there with like her hood and little cape. Okay, I like this. Uh do they keep books or other artifacts? How big is the cult? Do they all travel together or separately? It's like, thank you. I'm glad you like the concept. It's like, oh bless. The Codex Purus. Um, okay, so quite a few members. Okay, I like that. I like that it's actually a big group. Okay, torchbearers. Interesting. I mean, I'm liking all this about like torchbearers and stuff. And flames and novices. Confluences. Okay. Let's work on the uh Ember local to where our story is set. Who might be the leader, the torchbearer? Members. What was the other thing I was going to ask? You know, when you have like a question in your head and you're like, oh, I'll under. Let's also brainstorm alternate names, perhaps something French with inspiration from the time period. Oh, that's tragic. Oh, I hope you manage to get all the research that like you need done and like that it gets easier for you to like, you know, get everything. The Crimson Ember. Oh my god, the piercing eyes. See, this is the kind of thing I would use extract for. I really should have named all these chats. Um, so I would take, so Novice Lucien, I would take and replace him with Bale because that's the character that would fill in that. Um, yeah, this has been a really great live stream. I've really enjoyed it. It's always nice when there's like loads of people like chatting and yeah, just getting to know each other and stuff. And you know, on Thursday, I mean tomorrow obviously there's the normal office hours, but on Thursday there's going to be the next plotting things. So I think I'll be doing location. I don't know for certain. I might do a different thing. Does anyone have any other planning topics that they think I should do before I do codex entries? And also, if anyone knows any French, um, do any of these sound good? I mean, Order of the Purifying Fire, or maybe like Cleansing Fire. I don't know. That could something like that. Lord of the Blessed Candle. Okay, location setting. Yeah, I mean, I can totally prep a stream for that. There's going to be multiple locations in this story. Um, but yeah, anyone got any calls to Um, so I usually will re-ask we circus. We can have a play around next time when I'm actually making them. But I usually like will ask it to rephrase it in a certain way. Oh, oh, I didn't know the Internet Archive um was down. L'Ordre de Feu, like as in just the Order of Fire, or do we go for like L'Ordre de Feu purifying? But to be fair, if I go on extract codex entries, I mean, that's done a fairly good job of the different characters straight away. Um, you remember, guys, that you can also extract from snippets. So if you've got your own information that you want to extract into a codex, you can use snippets to do that. Um, okay, so groups often took names from local geography, saints, or symbolic elements. Uh, oh, I like that. The spark of the forest. But no, I like the start of La Braise, rather than La Flamme. Um, okay, do we do, okay, guys, um, decision, La Braise de la Vigne or, La Braise de l'Aube. Ignore my atrocious accent. The Ember of Dawn or the Ember of the Vines? Or the Vine. Or the Ember of the Forest. We could also do that. Okay, yeah, no, I'll have a play around with it. That's good to know because, you know, we always want to make sure things are working. So, do we go de la Forêt? Um, yeah, yeah, Delvine would be easier to pronounce for English readers. Okay, so do we go de la Forêt or de la Vigne? Forest. Now I'm thinking de la Forêt Vigne. Um, okay, we've got a vote for forest, a vote for wine. Or vine, sorry, vine, not wine. Vine. Um, you might want to be aware that Celestine is the female version of the name Celestine. The male version was the first name of. Oh wow, that's interesting. That's really cool. Okay, I like it Delavine because then it's like not too because it's set in a forest. Delavine, I guess, kind of like I like that. Yeah. Okay. Okay, Delavine. Um. Um. Aw. Thank you for the lovely validation, Claude. Okay. So let's copy conversation. Markdown. Don't use the word. Oh, is it? Oh, okay. What would you use instead then? Pruspa. So I think I'm gonna go like the yeah. Let's ask. How does le ordre recruit members Let's find out. Okay, that makes sense. Um, People who fail out of being a nun. Yeah, if someone can suggest me something other than Braze, that would be great. Oh my god, no attachment. Well, Bale is going to fail at this. He's going to bail out. Um, so Pruspa, so you say low the and then we got the so it's the low the diffuse purifying. Um, so what would you say that few would be better than Braze? Like for the individual, like instead of the because the idea was it was like the ember. So would you do you have a better word for then instead of la braise de la vigne as something for like the ember because it's like a sub part of a flame. I was so saying I didn't know about the braise thing. I thought the French swear word start. Oh, okay. Um, the cult has made up here. Okay, well, I might look up to see if that French swear word is a thing if it starts by, not bry. Um, I'll do that after. I'll ask St. John Luke. Um, one of our mods. But thank you so much, everyone, for coming. This has been really fun. Like, I've been having so much fun chatting with you all. I'm gonna be here tomorrow working on Only Dogs Left, and um, I'm going to um, and then I'm going to um, yeah, on Thursday we're going to do the next Preptober session. So I really hope you can all make it. This has been really fun. I'm looking forward to it. And yeah, we're gonna get this story done. This story is gonna be amazing and like there's gonna be so much drama and I'm so excited, guys. Like this is gonna be great. And I'm excited to hear more about your stories as well. So yeah, it's such an interactive chat. You have all been incredible, guys. I hope to see you on Thursday and tomorrow. But yes, I will see you. I will see you soon.